Angelo Acerbi, Fred Film Radio from the Torino Film Festival, here with Hoping Chen. Good morning.
Good morning, Angelo.
Editor of the film Wet Season by Anthony Chen. It's really, I'm really glad to have finally have the chance to talk with an editor, because we always talk with directors and actors and producers. We never have like the view of an editor on a film. My first question is maybe a little bit obvious, but is how did you work with the director in terms of editing? How much was your input in the editing of the film, or his input?
Yeah, I tend to work with directors in general, especially with Anthony, that to be a creative editor, that I don't like a director sitting behind my shoulder.
Say, do this, do that, cut this.
No, I never do that. Go out. Yeah, because you are... the editing is really a second phase of writing or film, so it's very important to allow an editor to feel creative in terms of how he or she works, and they have the space to think and feel. So in order to have this, you have to be very comfortable with the person you work with. So they have to trust you. So that's the most.
And do you think it's important for you to know the director's work before working with him?
Yeah, definitely. Have to watch their work, and then for me it's really important to really like the work the director did before, so we are on the same phase. If I have the choice.
Yeah. Of course. And you work with Anthony on his previous film.
Yes, I edited Iloilo. And also we met each other at film school in the UK, at London National Film and Television School. So that's how we met. We had a master class or degree over there. And I was the editing course, he's directing course. So I'm from Taiwan, he's from Singapore, and Anthony is like 20 years younger than I am, but we became great pals, and we really worked really well together.
The affinities doesn't have any age. It's not important.
Yeah, exactly.
Age in that.
Just like West Season.
I wanted to ask you. You were talking about creative editing, and you are a creative editor. Which are your boundaries for your creativity when you edit? So because you can do your input, but then the final decision is not yours, of course, it's the director's
definitely.
one. How do you manage to balance these two levels?
Yes, that's a very good question, actually. For the first phase, of course, try to be truthful to the script and to what the director and the team has shot. So we try to make it work during the original plan. So if it works perfect, then of course I don't need to do any creative editing. Yeah, but most of the time, even for Anthony, he's very precise in filming. He always film what he wrote down. So, but you still, in the editing process, you still realize there's some pace or some things they might not need to tell actually. So. We will do some minor changes or deleting of the scenes, even, and for more details parts is like for West Season especially, the main character, her performance is so delicate, and how to present this woman's the way she presents herself, the way she speaks, the way she walks, is all very particular. So we have to edit to this point, because like he shot 20 takes, maybe just because she walked the wrong way. So, yeah.
Is there any kind of participation from your point of view before? During the shooting or before the preparation of the shooting, can you talk normally with directors in order to give your view before they start shooting?
Yes, I always got to read the earliest drafts of his films and many other directors' films as well. So that is great, because the editor is really a good judge for the story. Does that work, or that emotional flow, and is the character consistent? All the characters, they have to be consistent. Yeah. So it's I always got to give my feedback to the directors.
a personal, well, not personal, but direct question for you in your job. How important is the rhythm, the narrative rhythm?
That's one of the most important things of the film.
And do you have your personal one, or you adapt to the narrative of the film?
I would adapt to the narrative of the film, but I think my pace is pretty sharp and precise. Yes, if you have seen Iloilo, or even this film, I think some people would say, "Oh, this cut is so quick. They couldn't. Some of them maybe not used to it, but." It's if I would say I had a personal thing, maybe this, but more important is not me. It's about the whole film and the director's style. Yeah,
I just said. I mean, the film is linked to many specific peculiar shots, like I mean, particular, like a hand. Piece of paper flying away, or like very tiny and precise and micro particular. Is this something that you could work with him in the editing, or all those things were already written on the script, or something just came up while the shooting?
Yes, you are very good of spotting this. All the shots were planned originally. It's only one shot throughout the whole film. It was one shot is pick up, is the paper flying away. The
yellow paper flying away.
Yes. That's the only shot we did the shoot after we edited. So
because it's really meaningful. I mean, we cannot tell exactly what's happening in the film because with this piece of paper. This piece of paper was like the beginning and the end of a secondary story in the film.
Then to fulfill this main character, her journey.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot to Ho-Pin Chen for having been with us, the editor of Wet Season by Anthony Chen. I'm Angelo Acerbi for French Film Radio, the Festival Insider.